My name is Mr. Brown and I'm the principal here at the Bridge Academy. What I want to do in this presentation is talk to you about who we are at Bridge, the things that really matter to us, because that I think will give you the best idea about what it would be like for your son or daughter if they were to come to Bridge in September. So the most important thing to know about Bridge is that we are a school on a mission, and our mission statement is on the board behind you. Every student at this school should go on to succeed at a good university or something equivalent, to thrive in their chosen field, so do really well in something they love, and ultimately to live a great life. And this isn't a mission statement that's just printed on letterheads or put up around the school. This really is at the centre of everything we do. All our decisions are made around making this happen. And so if we have a look in a little more detail at what our approach is. So you can see at the top here this idea of every student succeeding, going back to that mission statement. And then that's held up by these 4 pillars. So if we have a look over on the left here, we've got our academic curriculum, then personal development opportunities, our progression programme, which is about what students can progress to after they leave Bridge, and then stakeholder engagement. And I'll talk in a bit more detail about all 4 of these throughout this presentation. But you'll see underneath here that they are all built on student culture. That's absolutely key to us. If we don't get student culture right, we can't do any of these things properly and we won't achieve our mission statement. So it's not going too far to say that we are absolutely obsessed with creating a student culture where achievement is at the centre of what we do, where it's cool to be smart and where teachers can teach and students can learn. And so we base that student culture around our 3 core values, 3 core behaviours, if you like. We ask all students and all staff to do these all day, every single day, to the absolute best of their ability. And so our 3 values are hard work, integrity and kindness. And let's look at those in a little more detail because they are so important to us. So hard work. We do what it takes for as long as it takes. We know what our students need to do to go on and be successful. And we know that they need to persevere with that. Even when it's really difficult to do so, they need to stick with it until they have got to the point that they want to be at to be able to achieve what they want to achieve. Integrity. We do the right thing even when no one's watching. And I will say, this is probably the thing I am most proud of about Bridge. How often I get to see students doing exactly this. How often I get to see students making the decision to do the right thing because they know it's the right thing to do, even when it's hard and even when they have absolutely no idea that I'm watching them. And then kindness, our 3rd value. We have really high standards at Bridge because we care about our students' futures. We have super high expectations of what our students can achieve. We are strict. There is no way out of it. But we are that way because when we have these really high expectations, we see time and time again that our students live up to them and even exceed them. We also expect our students to be kind to themselves, to have really high standards for themselves because they also care about their futures, and to treat each other respectfully and fairly and to work together as a team because we know that together everyone can achieve more. And so now let's have a look at the first of those pillars that we build on this exceptional student culture, our academic curriculum. So what do we mean by that? Well, at a macro level, at whole school level, we mean a curriculum that's broad and balanced. So we want as many students as possible, doing as many subjects as possible, for as long as possible. And we want that range of subjects to be really balanced. So we do focus on the EBacc subjects, the most academic subjects, so English, Maths, Science, the humanities and the languages, because those really push and challenge our students. But we don't do that to the detriment of the arts or practical subjects. Those are also really important. If we're going to have balance, we have to make sure that our delivery of all of these subjects is equally excellent. And then at subject level, we have a knowledge-rich curriculum. And this means that our subject leaders have thought really carefully about what knowledge should be delivered to our students. And we've based this around what we call powerful knowledge in each subject area. And fundamentally that means three things. So firstly, this is the knowledge that's foundational to a good understanding of the subject. So the knowledge that you need in order to be able to go on and be successful in that subject later in your school career, or maybe even later in life at university or beyond. We also mean by powerful knowledge the canon, and that's the most famous knowledge in that subject area. It's often described as the best that has been thought or said. And that's so crucial for our students because it's really important that they have the opportunity to experience the absolute best of each subject area. But it's also really important, again, for their futures. And going back to our mission statement, we know how key that is to our approach. The third part of what we call powerful knowledge is a bit more disruptive though. Because much as the canon is very important, it's also really important that our students understand that they should be able to challenge this idea of canon. That perhaps knowledge is not set in stone, that it evolves over time. So a good example of this is in our English curriculum. Of course we study, for example, Shakespeare. You would expect that we would, and our students deserve the opportunity to look in detail at such great work. But we also study a really wide range of authors, with a range of genders, ethnicities, sexualities, whatever it may be, so that students hear from a diverse range of viewpoints. So they understand there's not just one way of looking at the world. So they perhaps challenge that idea, that ideology. And then intelligent sequencing. This is the third part of our academic curriculum. And this is the idea that what you teach really matters, and the order in which you teach it also really matters. And intelligent sequencing is for us built around two core ideas. The first of these is making things as likely to be understood as we possibly can, so maximising our students' chances of success. And we do this by making sure that we're starting with the basics, starting with the things that are foundational, and then building on them gradually. So we increase in complexity in what's being delivered over time. We build on that prior knowledge. We gradually challenge students more and more. And then secondly, we sequence to ensure that knowledge is transferred to students' long-term memories. So the idea is that they will retain what they've learned beyond when they finish learning that subject. And we do that in quite a wide variety of ways. We look very carefully at how often and where we repeat particular things. And our homework approach focuses very much on this idea. The second of our core pillars is personal development. And this is so important to us because we want students at Bridge to be well-rounded young adults by the time they leave us. We want them to be what the CBR describes as compelling individuals. And so we offer a huge range of opportunities for students to develop their character traits. And we call these our personal development opportunities or our personal development curriculum. And we have far too much on offer actually for me to be able to talk through it all here. I simply don't have the time. So I've picked out a few things which I think are really key to understanding what we're trying to achieve through this at Bridge. So the first of these is our student offer. There are certain things which we think all students should have the opportunity to do as a part of their education. So for example, we think that all students should go to an art gallery. We think that all students should go to a museum. We think that all students should see a play at a theatre. And you can see here, this is our Year 9 trip to the Globe Theatre to watch a Shakespeare play last year. We also think that all students, for example, should take part in competitive sport, and all students should have the opportunity to do outdoor learning, although that may be a little bit more complex with COVID as it currently is. And so this is, as I say, what we call our student offer, a set of things that we believe that all students should be entitled to during their education. And then we're in the very fortunate position of being able to build on top of that. So, for example, we have an excellent Duke of Edinburgh programme. We have numerous students who get their gold awards every year, and you can see down at the bottom here, another group just about to go off on an expedition. We offer trips abroad. So as part of the history curriculum, students go to the battlefields in Belgium. As part of our MFL offer, students go and do homestays in France and in Spain, where they can develop a real understanding of the culture, and of course their language skills improve massively as well. And then the next one down is, for me, And I realise as an ex-musician I'm a little bit biased here, but for me this is the jewel in the crown of what we offer. Our Every Child a Musician scheme. The idea that every single child when they come into Bridge in Year 7 will learn a musical instrument. And I have to say as well, many of them carry on with that musical instrument throughout their time at Bridge. And one of my absolute favourite things at Bridge is watching the Year 7 showcase, which you can see a picture of down here. And parents get to come and watch this as well. And this is the whole of Year 7 performing as part of a large ensemble and orchestra to their parents and other members of the public and showing what they've learned in that year at Bridge. It's always a remarkably lovely event. And the final of these bullet points is a little bit different, actually. We understand that during their education, students will face some challenges. Now, many of this, they have the capacity to deal with themselves. Many of these, they can demonstrate their perseverance, their resilience, and as I say, conquer those challenges themselves personally. But some things really do require another voice. Some things require some additional external intervention to ensure that students really can deal with them properly and move forward. Place to Be are the preeminent adolescent mental health charity. And so we work really closely with them so that we can ensure that for any students in this type of situation, we are able to give them the support that they need and deserve. The third pillar is our progression programme. Now, as I say, this is about what students can progress to after they leave Bridge. This is also where you really see the impact of the partnership with UBS. Because the partnership means that we can offer a range of activities and a quality within those activities that is literally unparalleled in any school I've ever worked at, or if I'm completely honest, in any school I've ever heard of. So there are so many examples of this as well, and like with our personal development programme, I simply don't have time to go through all of them, but I'll pick out a few highlights for me. There's our dedicated careers manager, who is so good that we often have students from other schools ask if they can come and speak to her too. Students at Bridge benefit from progression assemblies, from visits to workplace, from meeting at least one employer every year, often more. They benefit from really high quality work experience, including often at UBS, from our sector evenings, from our inspirational dinners, from interview rehearsal and practice, for jobs, for apprenticeship interviews, and of course for Oxbridge and competitive universities. And the list goes on and on. I've missed out, for example, down at the bottom here, which is our sixth formers with maths tutors. And then actually if we move along, these are our year 10s, well they're in year 11 now, but they were year 10 then, doing some really high-level maths at Oxford University. And this is a group of girls from our sixth form who are doing a Girls Take Finance Day, Girls Take Finance seminar at UBS. So fantastic opportunities which really focus students on maximising what they're going to be able to achieve in their futures. And then the final one of our pillars is stakeholder engagement. So I've already spoken a bit about the impact that the partnership with UBS has, and it is a really big part of who we are as a school and what our students achieve. We also have excellent relationships with our local primary schools. And these relationships are really mutually beneficial. So a good example of the way we work together is that our literacy and numeracy leads at Bridge work very closely with their counterparts in our local primaries and also with the Year 6 teachers. And this is about making sure that the Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 2 and Key Stage 3 curriculums really line up, that they're really coherent, that transition from primary to secondary learning is as smooth as possible and that we don't waste any time. And of course that's really about maximising our students' chances of success. Or if we think about our pastoral team or our Senko, they again work really closely with their primary school counterparts to ensure that that transition to secondary school is as smooth as it can be, to ensure that any vulnerable students get all the support that they need. And then of course this final one, we want to work really closely with you, the parents, because we know that when we get this right, this teacher, parent and the child all working together, all singing from the same hymn sheet, that's when our students, that's when your children have the best chance of success. And so we ask that parents really support us in what we're doing. We believe absolutely in purpose over power. Everything we do at Bridge has a reason behind it. We are more than happy to talk to you about why we take the approach we do in detail. But we ask, as I say, that you support us with that approach, because when we get this right, when everything is pointing in the same direction, that's when we have the absolute best results, and that is when your child and our student get absolutely the best education they can, which of course is what they deserve. And so what is the impact of all this? Are these 4 pillars holding up this success? Well, first of all, let's have a bit of a look at our results. So we had spectacularly good results again this year, but the situation this year really is somewhat unique. So what I actually want to do, because I think it gives a better indication of who we are as a school, is talk a bit about our results over time. And so these first 2 bullet points really do point to the level of consistency we have with excellent outcomes at Bridge. So you see here, we've been in the top 20% of all schools for GCSE Progress 5 years running now. And in fact, in 2 of those years, we've been in the top 10% of all schools for Progress, including last year. This first bullet point here is something we are enormously proud of. So we take a very large percentage of our students through from year 11 into the sixth form, well above the national average. And so we have a very mixed sixth form because we feel that that's who we are as Bridge. We want our students to stay with us for as long as possible. And so we really are hugely proud of the fact that our students build on these excellent GCSE results and go on and make great progress at A-level. And this red hot designation is the highest designation you could be given for A-level progress. And our 3-year average is in that category, is in that red hot category. And in fact, in 2 of the last 4 years, we've been in the top 10% of all schools nationally for progress at A-level. So really outstanding results. And I've put this one up just because I mentioned earlier that the most academic group of subjects are called the EBAC. And so I think it really speaks to the quality of teaching and learning that goes on at Bridge, that we have outstanding progress in these subjects. And when I say outstanding, I mean that the last 2 years in a row, we've been in the top 10% again of all schools nationally for our progress in these really key academic subjects. But we're not just successful academically, important, crucial though that is. We have many other successes as well at Bridge, and a lot of them are at a national level. So, for example, you can see here some of our successes in sport. Our basketball team has been nationally ranked, and here we have 2 of our alumni making the GB Junior Athletics squad. Our music department has won many awards in the last few years, including the most important Hackney Award, the Mayor's Award. We're also frequently awarded the Incorporated Society of Musicians Gold Certificate. And as you can probably see from the text here, that's usually just under 60 schools in the entire country who are awarded that. Most of those schools are usually independent schools or selective grammar schools. So it really does speak to the quality of the music department, that that's the level that we're working at. And had it not been for COVID, we would have been awarded that again this year in 2020. And debating has been something we've been so successful at Bridge over many, many years. And the pinnacle of that came when we were national champions in 2018. We won the National Cup. And in doing so, in the semi-finals, we beat the school that David Cameron's daughter goes to, which I took great personal satisfaction in. And we continue to be hugely successful in debating. We're currently ranked 3rd in the country, and that's with a very young team, who are about 2 years younger than the students they're competing against. So I have no doubt that this national success, this national triumph will be repeated in the none too distant future. And so what does this add up to? Well, our mission statement is all about what happens after students leave Bridge. How do we prepare them to go on and succeed? And so where are they going? Well, as I said earlier, we have a very mixed ability sixth form, and that's right. We believe that that is right for us. That is who we are as a school. So that makes it all the more remarkable that over the last 3 years we've sent 8 students to Oxbridge. We routinely send a very high percentage of students to the Russell Group, the best universities in the country. This year we sent over 1/3 of students going to university to the Russell Group, and we sent 62% of them to universities classed as being the top 1/3 by the DFE, so really good universities. But that's not it. Many of our students go on to do very different but equally successful, equally brilliant things. We quite regularly send students to America on scholarships, and we recently had a Fulbright scholar which is the highest scholarship level you can get to go to America. We have had students go to the Birmingham Conservatoire to study drama. We have a student at the moment who's studying with RADA. We have students who have taken up internships at UBS. The list goes on and on of the wonderful things our students have been able to do when they've left Bridge. So this is us. We're a bridge to your future. We are a school on a mission. If you are someone who wants to work hard, who will do what it takes for as long as it takes, if you are someone who has real integrity, who will do the right thing, however difficult that may be, even when no one is watching, if you are someone who is kind, who has high standards because you care about your future, who treats people fairly and respectfully, and who wants to work as a team to do the best they possibly can and to support their peers, then Bridge is the place for you.